Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good day, everyone. We are from Group A. That consists of me, Arum Kusumawardani, Ma'am Asti Taslimah, Miss Beauty Raufi, Miss Isna Dayanti, and the last Miss Niken Diajeng. We are going to discuss about the differences between Objectivism, Behaviourism, Cognitivism, and Constructivism in language learning. This is the table of contents. First, Objectivism, Behaviourism, Cognitivism, Constructivism, and the last, the differences among concepts. Next. For the first, Objectivism. Objectivism is an approach to learning that emphasizes teaching based on measurable objectives. In the context of Objectivism, knowledge and skill can be objectively measured and can be taught to students through a series of structured steps. This theory emphasizes a clear understanding of learning objectives as well as accurate evaluation and feedback on students' achievement. In the context of language learning, Objectivism refers to an approach where language acquisition is seen as the process of acquiring objective knowledge about a language. This knowledge includes understanding grammar rules, vocabulary, pronunciation, and other language components. Objectivism in language learning emphasizes structured teaching methods, explicit instruction, and clearly defined learning objectives. In summary, Objectivism in epistemology asserts that knowledge is derived from the objective reality through reason, evidence, and logical thinking, and it is not influenced by subjective feeling or opinion. Okay, this is Objectivism in language learning. Objectivism in language learning can be effectively implemented through the use of technology in several ways. For the first, language learning apps. There are various language learning applications designed with an objectives approach. These apps provide structured lesson on grammar, pronunciation, and exercises to improve speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills like Engul, Duolingo, and so on. And the next, learning management system. Learning management system is a web-based platform that allows teachers to create learning modules with clear objectives. Students can access the materials, undergo trials, and receive instant feedback, for example, like Edmodo, Google Classroom, Olu, and so on. And the next, interactive learning videos. The creation of interactive learning videos that provide explanations of grammar rules and proper word usage. Students can choose videos that suit their ability level and understand language concepts better through a visual approach. It's like in YouTube channel learning, TikTok videos for learning, or Instagram content for learning, or we can learn in or watch the video by other application like Ruang Guru. And the next, interactive grammar exercises. A website or apps that provides grammar exercises that are structured and geared towards specific learning objectives. Students can do these exercises independently and get instant feedback. Like, for example, in Olu, teachers can give variation of many exercises to students, and students can do the exercises, and then they will get the instant feedback from the teacher. And the next will be presented by Ma'am Asti.
Okay, thank you, Arum. The next discussion is about behaviorism. So behaviorism is a theory of learning that suggests all behaviors are acquired through conditioning process. It is a systematic approach to understanding the behavior of humans. Behaviorism focuses on the idea that behaviors are learned from the environment and says that innate or inherited factors have very little influence on behavior. The principles of behaviorism are based on the idea that all behaviors are learned through interaction with the environment. Here are the 5 principles of behaviorism. First, all behavior are learned through environment. The second, behavior is the result of stimulus response. The third, psychology should be studied in a systematic and observable manner. And the fourth, the role of environmental factors in influencing behavior is emphasized. The fifth, learning is defined entirely by a change in observable behavior. Therefore, when we born, our mind is tabula rasa or blank slate. However, behaviorism only provides a partial account of human behavior that can be objectively viewed. Essential factors like emotion, thoughts, and feelings are ignored. So, how behaviorism in language learning can be applied? In language learning, behaviorism can be applied through the use of technology in the following ways. First, positive reinforcement. So behaviorist classroom utilize positive reinforcement regularly. For example, if the students have to do the good task or assignment, so the teacher will give some rewards. This can be form of verbal reinforcement such as a prize, tangible rewards such as badge or certificate. So we appreciate the achievements of the students. The second is immediate feedback. Technology can provide immediate feedback for learners. This is very important parts of the learning process that we give the feedback for the students, which is a key aspect of behaviorism. For instance, learning application can provide instant feedback on pronunciation or grammar mistakes. So there must be many applications for corrections of the grammar. The third is personalized learning. Technology can be used to personalize learning experiences for individual learners. Adaptive learning software can adjust the difficulty level of exercise based on the learner's performance. And the fourth is gamifications. Gamification is the use of game elements in non-game contexts, and it can be used to promote desirable behavior in language learners. Language learning application can use gamification elements such as points, badge, and leaderboards to motivate the learners. So the students will get motivations in a learning process. Okay, next. The next discussion will be about cognitivism, will be presented by Miss Beauty.
Right, thank you, Ma'am Asti. So the next is about cognitivism. The focus of the cognitivism theory that help us teachers to understand that the different ways in which individuals or our students process and acquire knowledge. At the core of cognitivism, it lies the belief that learners play an active role in the learning process. So cognitivism is based on the idea that learning is an active process of constructing knowledge. It emphasizes the importance of internal mental process such as thinking, reasoning, problem solving, and decision making. Cognitivism also puts greater emphasis on individual differences in learning style and strategies that highlighted on understanding how people think, remember, and make decisions. Cognitivism also emphasizes the importance of feedback and self-regulation in learning. Self-regulation allows learners to assess their own progress, which can help them to stay motivated and on track with their goals. Next. So this is the cognitivism in language learning that involves technology to learn the language. The first is problem solving or reflection. Cognitivism helps teachers to identify and address potential sources of learning difficulties as well as provide insights into potential solutions. And this learning activity addresses knowledge as a set of mental structure that are constructed through active cognitive process. And the next is role playing. Cognitivism helps teachers to develop more effective teaching strategies by understanding the cognitive process involved in learning and create lessons that are better suited to the students' needs.
And this learning activity can help to ensure that students are able to achieve their desired outcomes while also providing them with the necessary tools. And the next is immediate feedback. Feedback provides learners with information about their performance and helps them adjust their behavior accordingly. And this can help the form of verbal feedback. This can take the form of verbal feedback, written feedbacks, or even non-verbal cues. Feedback can also help learners monitor their progress and self-regulate their learning. The next is about self-regulation. By understanding how people learn, we, as teachers, can create effective educational strategies that are tailored to their individual needs and abilities. Self-regulation involves learners setting goals, monitoring their progress, and adjusting their strategies accordingly. This helps learners become more independent and self-directed in their learning. The next is utilizing artificial intelligence. In order to utilize technology, the use of AI will result in computer replacing many human activities, such as teaching and learning. And in this case, teachers are the facilitator if cognitivism learning is considered in an objective framework for students. And the last is intelligent tutoring system. It is the more refined version of teaching machines based on breaking down learning into the series of manageable steps and analyzing students' responses to direct them to the most appropriate next step. So all of the cognitivism concept is make students be more active in their learning, so they all know what kind of learning style there are that are suitable for them. And the next will be discussed by Ms. Isna.
Okay, thank you so much, Beauty. Now, we would love to learn about constructivism. So, what is constructivism is? Constructivism is a learning theory or approach that takes a role in developing instruction methods based on the construction of knowledge by an individual, exactly their own prior knowledge, skills, and also competencies. It is not only just a theory of learning, but also way of teaching. So, teacher who use a constructivist approaches might encourage students to think for themselves and create a collaborative problem-solving environment where students become more active participants in their own learning. So, therefore, by Jamboree and also Kumarsha, the constructivist teachers also encourage students to constantly assess how the activity is helping them gain understanding, such as make a scale on 1 to 10 how much they do on gain a new perspective or knowledge. So, to simplify, constructivism is a theory of how learning occurs, where learners try to look for their own understanding about something they are curious to know. In in other words, students could be more proactive rather than a passive learners. Okay, next. So according to the journals Shadif and also Wang and Umar, they stated some examples of learning that effective for technological use for constructivism in language learning. The first is inquiry-based learning. So it provides students with an opportunity to show what they have learned through activities such as a presentation to give a feedback immediately, a reflexive paper, and also creating a step-by-step tutorial for another student. In a digital way, we can use such as a video or interactive audio clips, discussion boards, a presentation software such as Canva and so on, concept mapping software and also course websites. The second one is collaborative, creative, and also communicative activities because students are required to be a proactive in these design activities based on a social constructivism perspective. It encourage language and also 21st century skills development, and these activities might be facilitated through technologies such as Google Docs and also Moodle and all that we all use. Okay, the third one, last but not least, using social media platforms to improve social interactions and also students' performance. In this digital era, we also have an access to freely using TikTok, YouTube, and also Instagram. It integrates social constructivism theory by Vygotsky to promote students' social interactions, which eventually improves students' performance also in the language learning. Hence, this can be achieved through learning activities based on social constructivism theory that facilitated by social media platforms such as that have been mentioned before, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels, and any other platforms, social media for learning. So the next presentation will be discussed by Miss Niken.
Thank you, Isna. So here I would like to discuss the differences of the four concepts. So here I would like to discuss about the focus, the type of learner, the type of learning, and also the examples. For the first one, it's objectivism. Its focus on the course must present a body of knowledge to be learned consisting of facts, formulas, terminologies, principles, and also theories. And the learner is reactive in objectivism, and the type of learning, the new knowledge development must meet the rigorous standards of empirical testing within agreed theoretical frameworks. For example, teacher has to be very much in control of what and how student learns. Lectures and textbooks must be authoritative, informative, organized, and clear. And for the next is behaviorism. It focuses on what the learner does, proper response to a given stimulus are observable, and the learner is reactive. The type of learning, basic definitions, and explanations of concepts, generalization, and recall. For the examples, pre-task, comprehension checks, facilitate learning through assessments that allow practice and repetition. And the next, for the cognitivism, it focuses on processing of information, how the learner organizes new information within pre-existing schema or internal, and the learner is proactive. The type of learning, higher level reasoning and information processing, emphasize on memory and organization. For the examples, corrective feedback, learning strategies like analogy, metaphor, concept mapping, and remove irrelevant information. And the last is constructivism. It focuses on how the learner interprets the new information and applies to their own reality or meaning constantly evolves. And the learner is proactive. The type of learning, higher level problem solving, and critical analysis, emphasis on real world scenarios. And for the example, apprenticeship, collaborative learning, and encourage application of new knowledge in variety of contexts and perspectives. So these are the differences among these four concepts. And for the next, I would like to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of these four concepts. The first one, the advantages of objectivism. It is original or creative thinking must still operate within the standards of an objectivist approach. In other words, new knowledge development must meet the rigorous standards of empirical testing within agreed theoretical frameworks. However, for the disadvantages of objectivism, it can be too teacher-centered, as there has to be very much in control of what and how the student learns. And the advantages of behaviorisms, that behaviorism in the classroom can lead to better student discipline. This approach sets clear expectations and consequences, helping students understand and follow the rules. However, for the disadvantages, behaviorism in the classrooms tend to overlook individual differences. It doesn't account for varying learning styles, abilities, or interests, making it less effective for diverse learners. And the next, the advantages of cognitivism. Cognitivism learning theory helps to improve critical thinking skills by making the learner analyze and evaluate information rather than just memorize it. However, cognitivism also has disadvantages, such as it might not fully account for cultural influences on thinking and problem-solving strategies across diverse populations or diverse students. And the last is constructivism. The advantages of constructivism, because it requires differentiation, so the students learn at the optimal cognitive level. And for the disadvantages of constructivism, the differentiation for each child is exceptionally difficult and often impractical for the educators or the teachers. So that is the advantages and disadvantages of the four concepts. Here are the references that we use in our presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any question or something to tell?
Okay, maybe we can make a little bit discussions about what we have present and the topic. So what do you think about what is the most effective approach of learning theory that related to the use of technology?
Okay. Asti, may I give an opinion?
Oh, yes, of course. All of us can give our opinion.
Yeah. I think constructivism is particularly effective, yeah, because it acknowledges that learners actively build their own knowledge and understanding of a language target, and learners can not only acquire vocabulary and grammar rules, but also develop communicative competencies, culture awareness also, and the ability to use the language effectively in real life situation. Like, yeah, that's not only based on the structure, but also in the real life practically, like that.
Yeah,
maybe someone, yeah.
Because
Sure.
as we all know that when students use the constructivism theory, they are being active and they could be more, receive the knowledge from other ways like from discussion or from other sources, like from the not only from the teachers but also from the expert. They can show that they are capable or on receiving or acquire the knowledge based on their willingness. They have the willingness to know more, to build their own understanding, and have the knowledge more than the knowledge that they already have. What do you think, Isna and Miss Niken? And Ma'am Asti, of course.
Yes, I also agree with you, Beauty and Arum. I think constructivism is the best learning theories for nowadays, just like what you have explained, and also Isna already explained like how we can apply constructivism learning theories in language learning, which are most of the examples are really suitable with nowadays, which the students need to also learn about technologies. Yeah, so like for example, inquiry-based learning that is now explained, so the students can do presentation by themselves with technology, just like what we are doing right now, like making videos, presentation, software, something like that. And it also encourage the students to improve their higher level of problem solving and critical analysis, and emphasis on real life situations. So yeah, I think constructivism is a very good learning theory to be applied.
Okay, I add. Okay. So despite the disadvantages that Ms. Niken has been mentioned before, I think that individually, students might be varied. So it is a teacher's necessary job to grouping them into somewhat of the kind of learning. So I think that the constructivism is a learning theory which holds that knowledge is gained through a process of reflection and also active construction, in my opinion, because it works well with the technology, and it supports collaborative, interactive, and student-centered learning. So they might learning themselves, or what we call autonomous learner. Okay, so the active learning and also the collaboration and personalizations might be construct into the constructivism. So I think that constructivism is the best theory approach for language learning. How about you, Miss Asti? You may also give a conclusion about this constructivism discussions.
Okay, thank you for your opinions. So I think all of us agree that constructivism is the most effective learning approach. So yes, as far as we know that nowadays students are required to be active in the learning process, right? Unlike in the past, who only receive lessons and the teacher as the only source of learning. And nowadays, at present, so at the advance of technology, so all of things can be the source of learnings. Yeah, the video learnings and what Miss Isna said at the presentations, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then any kinds of technology used that can be improve the students' learning. So I think it's a very interesting discussions relating about the theories of learning. So all the theories, I think, have the plus and minuses about the applications, but related to this time and to this day, maybe the constructivism and cognitivisms will place the students as the active learners that must be more effective and most effective and also appropriate for the advance of the technology. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to give a closing?
Okay, thank you, friends, for this discussion. I think enough for our presentation and discussion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you so much
wabarakatuh.
all.